Hey Aquarius. Okay, so instead of the Jamaican view, you get the Jamaican t-shirt and my parents' wallpaper. I'm just waiting to move back into my apartment. And of course, I should explain, as you can see from the other videos that I put up, things were seemingly going well in Jamaica, and then the winds picked up, and I couldn't show you the spread, and they weren't uploading anyway, so waited until I came back. So those two videos were done, but all the other videos I'm going to do from New York. So let's get started. Aquarius, January for you, but also moving forward, like what's the theme? What does it start off with? And how does that carry over into your year? For you, really, this month, but also the coming year, because it is kind of your birthday, New Year as well, right? Happy birthday to the early Aquarians. This month really for you is about value and worth, finding your worth, finding your value, but also figuring out where those self-limiting beliefs are in your life that keep you from really expressing your value. What do I mean by that? When you know that you have a certain value, right? When you have a set kind of belief about yourself, that this is what I'm worth, or this is what I can earn, or this is what I am capable of receiving in a relationship, doesn't matter. This is what can be given to me. What you're also doing when you do that is you're making an invisible list of what cannot be given to you, what you are not worthy of, right? Because you're kind of defining very clearly what you think you're worthy of. So, for example, that's a bit theoretical. I mean, you guys will get it because you are so theoretical, but just, for the sake of an example, you can believe that you are worthy of making a certain amount of money a year. You're a 30 grand or 40 grand or 50 grand or 70 grand a year guy or girl. And what you're saying, the invisible list that you're making at the same time is, and I can't make more. So the invisible list includes, I can't make 100,000. I can make 30,000, but I can't make 100,000. So your beliefs are in some way always limiting, because what they imply is, something that limits you. Do you understand what I mean? When you define yourself as having a certain value, what you're saying is that anything above or below that is not for you, and you can't attract it into your life because your beliefs attract what is reflected back to you in this reality. So for you, January and your, birthday, New Year is really about, sure, it's about money, but not the way you would think. Not money the way you would think. Money in terms of fulfillment, like money in terms of being offered that which you feel matches your worth. Now, if you're someone who is unsure about their worth, this month will really, this is a card of value. This is a card of a woman who is very much cognizant of her value and knows who she is and knows what she deserves. Like I said, it is about work, it is about money, but not in the way it has been for the past year. It's more than that now. It's, how does the work I do, how does the way I earn my money reflect on what I am as a person? What I value in myself as a person? What do people value in me? What do the relationships I'm in with these people, do they reflect the value that I find in myself, right? I'll give you another example of what and why do I say this? Why does this happen now? Well, let's take a look at these cards and I'll also explain to you why it happens now. So, what do we have? We have the Five of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, okay, the Queen of Wands, Two of Pentacles, the Hanged Man. Now, why do I say this? Why is money and worth and work and how it really relates to this work? Does it relate to the value of you? Does it fulfill you? Is it inspiring to you? The way love can be inspiring. Why do I say that? Because Aquarius, you hate being constrained. You hate being tied up. You hate being held to some sort of tether, in terms of what you can accomplish. And I think this month you will find that you are constrained, not by anybody else, but that you have done this to yourself. By going back and forth about what you're worthy of and what you're not worthy of, by even calling into question that you could, in some parallel universe, not be worthy, right? When you come off the assumption that everyone is worthy, when you start wondering if you're worthy or not, when you start making your value a question instead of a certainty, then you constrain yourself. You develop self-limiting beliefs that hold you up. So in this way, the constraints that Aquarius is now feeling are not anyone else's but their own. And those constraints are making you really, really irritable. It's beginning to bother you that you have these self-limiting beliefs, and you're like, I want to move past this. I want to push past this. So the example I can give you is in a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by a man named Maxwell Maltz. He talks about how sales reps all over the world, after his book first came out, called him and said, I have this guy that works for me, and no matter if you put him in a good work environment or a bad work environment, he always makes $5,000. Now, in some environments, he's made $5,000 when people couldn't make a nickel. And in other environments, people were making hundreds of thousands and he only made $5,000. How is that possible? Well, it was because that person's self-image was set at, I am a $5,000 man. And so no matter what situation you put him in, he subconsciously microadjusts to make sure that his value, his value point that he had in his head was reached. Okay? And so, just like that, you have a certain point of value in your mind that has been very constraining and not at all accurate. And sure, there have been experiences, there have been either really current sadness that you're just getting over something, but this could also be something where you're past your childhood, because a lot of self-limiting beliefs are created in that 0 to 6 age period. So this may be a greater mourning, not just of a recent relationship that's over, but, that sense of, why me? Why was my upbringing this way? Why did I have to have that rough start that gave me this questionable value where I should just know it as a certainty? Bottom of the deck, the High Priestess. So definitely a call here that your value, the awareness of your value, the awareness that will then, once you know your value, then money starts coming in no problem, right? Then opportunities and love and money and all these things can kind of rush in because they're attracted to the vibration of value, okay? These constraints are in your mind, right? That's why she's blindfolded. The constraints are in your mind. And these constraints are holding you back in terms of being able to make money. And the reason they're holding you back in terms of being able to make money is because it is the value within yourself that you have been questioning that now needs to be healed so the money can start coming in, right? The sun moves into your house later this month, and then also a new moon moves into your house, I think a week later. So you really have to start prepping now for new beginnings where you will be having a lot more money coming in, but also for this healing that is going to be forced upon you now, where you are going to be pushed into a situation where you will either be squeezed so hard by these self-limiting beliefs that you bust, or where you gently take them apart without hurting yourself too badly. But either way, they've got to go. What I would suggest, or what the cards suggest, is that you use this time to get really clear about your commitment to yourself, to your own health, to your own well-being, because that is what is going to build value. That is the initial step that needs to be taken so you can recognize your value, right? You need to spend some time by yourself contemplating these things, contemplating what it is that took you from this beautiful place of knowing exactly how much you were worth, what robbed you of this, but not dwelling on it there, but looking at it from a place of power and insight and saying, okay, I can see where that happened and I can see how I can repair it by just realizing that that was an experience that wasn't necessarily emblematic of my value, but just something that happened to me along the way because I had some dominant personalities here that really did impinge on me, perhaps in childhood, but this is a person who either impinges on you and is dominant or is just completely neglectful of you. So either one of these things could be playing on you right now because they are at the core of your self-limiting beliefs that have constrained you, that keep you, tied up. But what's apparent to me is that this really is something now that will forcibly be healed. You come into this new year, with this expectation. You feel it in your bones. I'm going to make money. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to reach new heights. And yet this is the hurdle that you must jump over before, because you're right. Your instincts are right. All that stuff is coming, but this comes first. And it's, because you guys can be so theoretical, self-limiting beliefs are all the more limiting for you because you are so cerebral. If you were coming from more of a feeling center or a sensual center, it wouldn't be quite as debilitating. But of course, being a mental sign, an air sign, it is extremely debilitating to have these ideas of where your value is less than others, this comparative value thing valuation thing that we do. But I see that moving forward, you will resolve this issue. You will find some sort of closure to the wounds of the past, and you will work really hard to, not only will you make money, but you will work really hard to overcome these constraints and these dominant personalities. And you will find support along the way. Is this a water sign? Is this a romantic interest? I'm not sure here. I think this is more just people who will come out of the woodwork to help you and care for you as you start this journey. People that you wouldn't necessarily expect that kind of care from. But they have been wanting you for so long to reach this point that they will come out and support you in ways that will be very beneficial for you, just to, let you know that they care. Okay? So that's how January looks, and those are the major themes setting up for you for this year. Really, money will start to flow towards the end of the year. So prepping yourself so you know how to deal with it and also to build upon it to make more, like I said, has everything to do with how you feel about your own capabilities. And are you a $5,000 guy? Or are you, a $5 million woman? Or it's really up to you. How do you now go about working on healing the wounds of your self-image so you can reach that place? The first step is obviously awareness. Okay? So that's that. I hope you liked the reading. I'm sorry it was so late. I'll leave my email address below if you'd like a personal reading and you'd like to learn more about how to, for example, edit your self-image and not be debilitated by this sort of pattern. That's something that I work with a lot. So get in touch with me if you'd like more information about that and how to do that. Or if you just want to let me know something, comment, hang out, talk, whatever. I'm around, okay? Thanks. I love you guys. I'll see you next month. And I would turn the video off if I could see the mouse. Aha! I'll just show you my face. Bye.